What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome you to another new episode of the New Breed on Sports Empire Network? I am your host, Jake the Snake Silva, as you know me from the hit show, The Snake Sports Talk Show, here on the New Breed podcast show. If it is your first time, I encourage all of you to like, subscribe, hit the bell button for all latest notifications to keep you up to date on newest episodes of the New Breed podcast. Joining me tonight is a very special guest all the way out from Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville's committed Quintez Thomas. Quintez, so glad for you to join us here on the show. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. So you hailing from Eastern High School in Louisville, Kentucky, and staying put in the hometown of Louisville and being now a committed Louisville owned D-line and offensive lineman. How does that got to feel for you to still be here in Louisville and representing?
Well, it feels good, stay home, cheaper. Feel me? Like, what's it called? All my friends go to Louisville, all my coaches, it's just better environment just to stay home. You get to see my parents every week. You feel me?
I hear you on that. It's always so good too, especially being in the comfortability of being home. I will want to ask you as well, because you are both a star from offensively and defensively on that front line. And there's so many challenges. That's why when I watch a lot of offensive and defensive linemen, there's so many challenges, but yet there's so many different strategies playing the position itself. I got to ask you, where do you kind of see yourself going in now to Louisville? Do you see yourself have more of the edge on the line? Is it more offensively or defensively, and why?
I could see myself playing like left guard or right guard because I could pull. I'm really good at pulling. That's my main thing I'm good at is pulling. I got a little speed on me. And yeah, I dominate more up there because I'm aggressive. You feel me? I like to finish people.
I tell you, man, it's a pretty tough position, but I gotta say, some of those guys there on the offensive line, they got quick feet, they're built up front, and it's a great position to play against, especially too when you got the quarterback who loves to have protection in front of him on the line and just distributing the football to all of his offensive players.
Yes, sir. It's Pierce right there.
Hmm. But yeah, so and it is interesting because, of course, on the offensive line, it's the most important key position there in that offense because, one, it's helping for, of course, building the protection for the quarterback. Also, not only, two, opening up gaps and opportunities, even for the run game, too, to producing as much. And I got to say, like, it is a very tough challenge. And, of course, people there on the line, they got to have quick feet. They got to be strong up front and on the upper body as well, because it's all providing just being instinctive, giving enough protection and opening gaps for the run game. Um, when you do your daily workouts, I mean, what's kind of your secret recipe to kind of keeping you, keeping your fitness to where you're quicker, you're stronger, and then you're providing that quality protection there on that line?
My goal is basically every time I go to the gym, I want to do 5 pounds more weight than I did last week. Every I go 6 times a day. I want to do 5 more pounds more. And with speed, I want to beat my time by at least 5 seconds more. I add seconds. Just keep on adding because you can't keep on. You can't keep going higher and higher and higher so heavily because you're not gonna progress. You're never gonna get there. If you could do it one time, yeah, okay. But once you get it down to where you could do it 100 times without a problem, then you're straight. So I just like to add little and gain a lot. You feel me?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's taking those baby steps to, getting to that higher level, especially in the collegiate level. I mean, Louisville, it's a great program. I mean, there's been a lot of really good talents that's been coming out of, up in Kentucky in general. I mean, watching football just in the state of Kentucky, I mean, there's a lot of really good talent. So you're in the good pedigree of great talents and future talents moving forward, and the competition, it gets increasingly challenging as well. And so building yourself up step by step, and then keeping that pace as well, to where you're building up the best way possible to give yourself elite production as well in your position. Um, so playing up in Eastern high school, because being up in that region with Kentucky and several other high schools as well, in the nation, um, what was something special to you, at the time playing in Eastern, with your tenure there before committing to Louisville?
Uh, Eastern, my Coach Young, my coach Taylor, Coach Johnson played at Louisville. He's a Louisville alumni, so he taught me a lot of techniques Louisville, like they do at Louisville and practice wise. So I didn't go there freshman year. I went to Fern Creek freshman year, but once I got there, I really started playing football there my junior year, because COVID year we didn't go in school, and we wasn't really focused. Like, everybody was all messed up, so we didn't do that. We wasn't really focused. But junior year is my first year of actually focusing on football. But it was great at Eastern. They taught me a lot. I'm really the reason why I'm at Louisville right now, because they told me the right ways and the wrong ways, and who's family. You gotta be treated like family. If you want to go somewhere, you can't just go somewhere because they're good or bad. You gotta go somewhere who treats you like family. That's what they.
Absolutely. I love that. I like that, because it does build a great camaraderie. It builds a great chemistry as well, especially moving into now in the collegiate level. I mean, because there's so many expectations that's involved, and so there's always striving for quality production as well in every single position. And I like that, because especially building that special relationship as well on the offense, and building that kind of trust as well. Because, and I gotta say too, like, from your experience as well, like, what was the relationship like, especially from the quarterback and the offensive line? Because there's that built trust. It's, if you protect me, I'm gonna give my production as well, as long as I got production around me. And so what was that trust like between the quarterback and the offensive line?
Are you talking about for Eastern or like Louisville?
For Eastern.
Well, Eastern, my quarter. Well, we had a lot. We had some problems on the right side, so he got hit a lot. But like he trusts me every time he'll go. Like, we'll throw a left pass play for me, little screen. He
Mhm.
trusts me a lot. But the only thing about it is, we just had a lot of problems up the middle. And but me and him, he's a sophomore, I think, sophomore or freshman. So he's young. He's really young. He's still got a lot of experience to go. So, but it was great playing with him. He's a
Gotcha.
good
All
QB.
right. Well, that's always good, especially too, moving in to, the college level and building that kind of that trust with your quarterback as well. And it's ensuring too that it opens more of the playbook, it opens more of the opportunities too with getting your team on top, especially too with opposing defenses as well. Um, so going into Louisville, I mean, in the aspect, I mean, the fact of, one, you're comfortable up at home. Um, and so ultimately, I mean, from you is like, there's definitely, by the time you're out there up on the field, um, in your Louisville uniform, there's definitely not going to be any jitters, since you'd be comfortable up at home, right?
Yeah, I've been in Louisville many times, like probably like 12 times. So I already got the vibe, the game day vibe before the locker room, after the locker room. I got all of that. So I feel like I'm gonna be straight. Some people going to college scared. I just want to play. That's all I go. That's all I want to do is play.
Mhm. I feel you on that. It's never easy, moving on from, the high school to now in the college atmosphere. I mean, I can tell you, I mean, for me, I live here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And so, um, for me, uh in my personal experience, I mean, going into high school and then potentially going into college, I mean, it's pretty nerve-wracking. And a lot of people have different experiences as well, how they got in, how they kind of got used to the atmosphere. I had to basically take, college prep classes as well in order for me to understand the atmosphere, the environment, and what I was going to get myself into now moving into that next stage of life. And that's always good, and the fact of you having the experience being around in Louisville, you got that comfortability. There's not really something to where, you kind of got a little bit of the jitters. So that's always a good thing. And then that helps to boost the confidence as well, being up out on the field and producing as well. Um, have you already gotten the chance to meeting the coaches up in Louisville already?
Yes, sir. I met the whole coaching staff. I think it was last Saturday.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what was that experience like for you meeting the coaches and then just kind of, picking a little bit of their mind and, seeing what the focus and the expectation would be going into the season?
Well, Coach Ivy, we talk a lot, so I don't really count him as meeting, but Coach Ivy introduced me to Coach Owens, the new O-line coach, and yeah, he's a really good guy. Like we was vibing the whole time. We went to the basketball game. He sat with me the whole time. Like was chatting. Really good guy. Coach Braun, he's a hard working man. He worked hard 24/7. You could tell. Really good man though. I think I met one more person. I think it was the running back coach. He's hilarious. Probably the funniest man I ever met. But yeah, the whole coaching staff is great. Strength and conditioning coach looks like a very well trained man. Feel me? Get them demons out the linemen.
Mhm.
Looking forward to working with him for the rest of my college experience in life.
Mhm.
But yeah, I like the coach staff. I love him.
Well, that's always a good thing. I mean, from the sound of it, it's like you're going into a really, really good, already chemistry-based type of program now with the right people in place and the right coaches as well to building up and really getting the best out of your performances on and off the field as well. And so that's a great sign for that as well. Getting to knowing the coaches, building that relationship, building that trust as well. So that's always a good thing. And especially in college, I mean, you have plenty of years ahead of you and you got most of the time there, whether it's, being out on the field, being up into the gym, or even just being around the campus as well. I mean, um, building those types of trusts as well. So that's always a good sign. Um, so if you don't mind me asking, because for me, I love hearing a lot of the college experiences, and for you now being in a Louisville committed player as well. I want to get in more of like the academics as well. Is there a possible you know uh career direction may be as far as majoring? Have you decided exactly what you may potentially major in?
Yes, I think I'm gonna be a physical education teacher
Ah,
because
great. That
my PE teacher, I see the stuff he does, and I don't want to get old. You feel me? So I just want to stay active. You feel me? Hoop with the kids. Just stay motion. You feel me? Keep moving for the rest of my life.
absolutely.
I don't want to be still sitting on the couch eating chips, watching football games every Sunday. I want to feel me stay moving.
I like it. I like that. So and that is absolutely, a great direction as well, being up in physical education. I'm sure there are possibilities. I mean, I do have some friends of mine, they work in sports medicine and they absolutely love it because of the fact of they learn so much of just the anatomy of the body and how our bodies function, especially when it comes to um, you know, resisting injuries and such because playing on the football field it gets tough. You're taking hit after hit and at the same time too strength and conditioning, so it's real important keeping your body healthy, keeping your body active, and just getting the best of you. I've always said it like this, like when it comes to really shaping our bodies to the best of where we want to be, I think of it as like we all build our own personal temples. We're chiseling each part of ourselves to where we want to be the best versions of ourselves inside and out, and and that's great. I love that. I love that direction. And I mean, hell, even when I talk with, personal trainers as well from, their experiences, how they got into, being a personal trainer as well and keeping themselves active. I mean, and having the right people that motivate you, that push you to the absolute limits and keeping up with the grind and getting the best of yourself. I mean, that's always the best thing. And I love stuff like that. So that's awesome. I absolutely love that direction. Um, before letting you go from here, so I mean, ultimately, when you step up out in that field, the fact that you've been around Louisville for a very long time and have experienced it and have really gotten comfortable in the comfortability of home, um, I mean, it's got to be really, really special for you. And I'm sure, too, especially for your family, the second you start walking in and representing Louisville, all the colors, all the rest of it. I mean, how would that experience be like for you being out on that field when the season starts?
Well, I always had a dream to play for Louisville in some way because we always been fans.
Mhm.
So it's just like crazy that to get the opportunity to like. It just feels weird sometimes. And when I was putting on the uniform, I'm like, bro, I'm looking at people on TV wearing this uniform, but now I got it on because I came from a long way. I didn't even know how to play football my eighth grade year, and now look where
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. And so and I would have to ask this. Um, were you a diehard fan of Lamar Jackson when he was there in Louisville?
I wouldn't say diehard fan because you feel me. I ain't really watch him like that,
Mhm.
but I watched him enough to know that he was gonna be something special when he went off. I just knew he was gonna be special. And when I seen he hurdled dude, I forgot I forgot what game it was, but
Mhm.
he hurdled dude and they made a statue about it. But
Oh, wow.
yeah, I knew he was gonna be special. And I seen him at the movie theaters one time when
Mhm.
well, I don't know how old I was, but I was younger. I was a kid, little kid. But I seen him at the movie theaters, and then we got a picture together.
Oh, that's awesome. That's an awesome experience. Yeah, and especially meeting like, the players, especially even in the collegiate level, it's like it's such a grand experience. And for you too, I mean, you know, coming from where you were, in your growth of life to being all the way to where you are now potentially working the way to getting into Louisville and at some point, working hard, earning the starting spots and all the rest of it too. I mean, it's a grind, but it's well worth it up into the end. And I'm pulling for you for best successes and for future endeavors as well up in Louisville. And from everything, I mean, especially with the history of this program, you are in good hands, my friend, especially with the coaching staff, the atmosphere. I mean, Louisville, Kentucky. I mean, there's nothing like it. You're around a lot of great people, and especially too the atmosphere and the fans. It's got to be amazing. So, thank you so much, Quintez. I appreciate you taking the time to being on here on the New Breed. Have a great night and best of luck and future endeavors for you in University of Louisville. Take care of yourself, and we're pulling for you through this season.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. Go
Ab-
Cards.
Absolutely. Go Cards.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Quintez Thomas now committed to Louisville Cardinals. I mean, there's a lot of really good history there in, just in the state of Kentucky and even for, Louisville. I remember watching, from Lamar Jackson to several different young players and in Kentucky, it's a great place. It's a really, really great place and the atmosphere, nothing like it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And especially too from hearing the history, hearing a lot of just, from the backgrounds to getting to where he is now and being comfortably home in Louisville. I mean, I love those hometown stories, um and especially too, I think they've got themselves a great one, and we're definitely pulling for future successes for Quintez Thomas. But that's gonna do it for all of us here on the New Breed podcast. Quintez Thomas, absolutely glad to have him tonight, and potentially more future stars going into the collegiate level and showcasing their their experiences, and of course too what the future holds for a lot of these great young players to potentially build that bridge to getting into potentially the NFL level as well. So thank you guys so much for joining us here on the New Breed podcast. This is Jake the Snake Silva signing off. If you haven't done so already, as I've said before, like, follow, subscribe, and hit the bell button for all latest notifications on everything New Breed Podcast. Have a great night, guys, and take care of yourselves. And we will see you on the next episode of the New Breed Podcast.